Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home. I'm here with Laura Bittner at TERRA, and we are sitting here looking at beautiful tropical plants because it makes us feel so good this time of year to bring in some color and life.
Exactly, and color is what we've got. So really, I've collected kind of an assortment of all of our best looking tropicals, or my favorites, and we're also going to make a little something in a little bit.
Okay. Sounds good.
So first of all, yeah, we've got tons of tropicals in, and really there's something for everyone. No matter color you like, easy care, hard care, anything like that. So
yes, the thing is, some people like to spend a lot of time with their plants. And some people actually just really want a plant that is so easy to take care of that they barely have to do anything.
Exactly.
Because people are busy.
Yes, and watering can even be somewhat of a challenge to some people.
Absolutely.
So in that case, succulents are good because they really require not a lot of watering, not a lot of fertilizing, and minimal amounts of
So they almost kind of retain their own water.
Well, they do. Right? They do. Now this one's just been watered, so there's a bit of water right in the middle there. But the leaves themselves are designed to hold in enough water that they can sustain themselves in long periods of drought.
And that's great, and they're beautiful, and they're very hardy, right?
They are definitely. So now these hardy indoors.
Yes, hardy indoors. Don't be putting those outside right now.
No, not right now. Anyway. Come the May long weekend, we can start introducing them outside and getting them acclimated to the warm conditions outside, and then they can stay out all summer, not a problem. So this one in particular is Echeveria, and again, it very low maintenance, and it just gives you this kind of different desert-like.
I love. You used to see sort of the bluey greens, but I actually love that one's almost like a
Isn't
mauve
that
color
gorgeous?
over there. That's
yes,
pretty.
exactly. So this is another variety of Echeveria, and you can see his flowers are coming on now. So the flowers will have an orange and a yellow in them. Wow. And again, just very low maintenance, easy to care for. Once we hit the summer and you do bring it outside, you will want to start fertilizing on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. But
that's good, I think, because some people are afraid to even put them outside. They're worried, but it's actually
oh, they love it. They love it. They'll flourish out there, and then when you bring them in next year, they'll be even bigger and better. Of course, the jade plants, they do well.
Yes, these things just kind of tick on along on their own. I love that. I barely touch mine. I just say hey, and then it just.
And the jade themselves, the Echeveria like quite a bit of sunlight, but the jade themselves don't need that much.
No,
they like some good long afternoon sun, like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, but they don't need too much. Now this one's a little bit different. This is the agave plant, and it is a native of Mexico, and really, again, just adding something different, a little different look to the house, a little desert look.
Yeah, they're nice. I like those a lot.
Yeah.
But again, it's just, a lot of times I think what happens, especially, after Christmas, there's this lull for a couple of months in your home where you might not even have any plants at all.
I get plant fever. Like, I really do. I come in, I'm like,
some things around you. So this is a perfect time of year to have tropicals in your home, have whatever it may be of all different types. Just fill the space. It's good for the air, and it's good for your mood. Yeah. Because there's life around you versus looking outside and it's all gray and muddy and dark.
Yeah. So we've got the succulents, and they do really well with a minimal amount of care. But then perhaps you'd like something a little bit brighter.
Right. Now we're getting into some like actual real color.
Yeah. So this plant in particular is called Clivia, and does exactly what you see here. Sends up a shoot of these amazing orange flowers, and it will last, depending on where you have it and how moist you keep it, can last upwards of a month.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, just a beautiful. We've got it in this lovely pink pot. Pink and orange are our big colors this year together. So there's that one, and of course over here we've got the bromeliads.
Yeah, these are so cute.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
So bromeliads, this one is in particular. They like to be watered inside of their leaves.
Right.
So they hold on to that water, but they also like a moist soil. So this one, in its self-watering pot, we just pull this bottom part off here, and it holds water.
That's amazing.
To keep the soil moist. So
very cool.
Again, low care.
Yes.
And
but I like how tiny that is.
Isn't that cute?
How much light does this one need?
Bromeliads, they do like a lot. They like bright light, but they don't want to be sitting in the baking hot sunlight, especially in a window where they can really warm up. They don't really like that. So you want to keep it bright, indirect sunlight for a good portion of the afternoon.
I think a lot of times people, the hard part is nowadays we have these two-piece bathrooms that have zero light,
yes,
natural light. There are no windows, and you want to have this beautiful little, you know, plant in there,
yeah,
right? But you know, they need to have some element of light,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So in those instances, sometimes a fern could be a better choice,
yeah,
especially in a bathroom if you're going to get a little humid.
Right, okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to, this project we were talking about making,
yes,
these are beautiful to have, and your folks here at Terra will put them together for people.
Of course, yeah.
And come in and choose a container and they'll...
So these are our air plant terrariums, and air plants are exactly that. They don't have any roots, you don't plant them in soil, they actually get their nutrients from the air and from the sunlight. Now you do have to mist them once, twice a week, and actually dip this whole thing in water, submerge it in water once every 2 weeks or so.
Okay, so how do you, when you have it actually in a container, what are you doing then to give them their, obviously you can spray inside, but do you actually have to take them out of there?
Just going to take it out, soak it for a couple minutes, give it a little dry off, and then put it back in. All
right, I can do that.
Yeah. So I'm going to just quickly show you how easy it is to make an air plant terrarium. Find yourself a glass vessel, get yourself some lovely colored sand, nice and bright, really make you feel like it's summer out there. So we've got the green, thank you. Now we're going to go for some yellow.
Oh, neat.
There we go. And we'll go back to green.
But this is the great part, is that you can really have a lot of fun with this and add, again, this in itself is adding color where the plants are, you know, pretty muted.
Yeah.
But this is giving you something, you know, that, again, just a little color.
So we've got green, yellow, green. We're going to take our little air plant that we have submerged in water, stick them in there. Then perhaps we take a few orange colored stones.
And you can pick up all these different sands and stones here at Terra.
We've got them all here for purchase, or if you like, we can make them up for you because we have a lot of fun doing that.
And that's the thing, like we have some huge containers too, big glass containers. You can do giant ones.
Yeah, it's almost like a space helmet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so big.
It's fun.
And I mean, you get creative and you get inspired when you come in. And I mean, it's simple and it's refreshing. And there we go.
And again, easy maintenance with that. So again, spritzing, soaking in water, and then lots of options. Like I like how you've added some shells to some of these.
And different types of moss.
Really nice appeal. So again, you're looking at completely two different looks here, but lots of different options and ways of adding some color and some life into your house. You know, just before we
and we can custom make them to match your colors at home or whatever you like as well.
So it's a good part, you know. So lots of containers you can buy here. You can bring in a container. I know I have one that I already bought here, but it's sitting there empty. So now I'll just come in and I'll get you to make me something more out.
Perfect. Not a problem.
All right, so again, this is the great way to get yourself here into the greenhouses, walk around. There are so much life and color here. You don't have to wait until all the major flowers are showing up for summer. Stuff's happening now. All right, thanks, Laura. Good stuff. All right, we'll be back with more Terra Home.
Terra, where color lives.
Good morning, welcome back to Terra at Home. We're in a cool environment here, smelling oh so sweet right now, and I'm here with whiskey maker John Hall. So nice to see you again at 40 Creek, and we're down in Grimsby, and this is the kind of the hot spot today. We need to talk about your successes and where you started. How did this all come to be for you?
Oh, that's terrific, Leslie. Good to be here. It started back in 1992 is when I decided that I wanted to make a handcrafted Canadian whiskey. Canadian whiskey wasn't all that popular back then, but Scotch was and bourbon was. So I really wanted to bring craftsmanship back to Canadian whiskey. So I started off with this first whiskey here. This is my go-to whiskey. It's called 40 Creek Barrel Select.
Thank you.
And in 2002, I introduced it 10 years later after I started making it.
No, that's the thing. People, they see this now and where we're standing and how far 40 Creek has come, but that is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for you, as an individual, and then all of your counterparts to come together and to produce something like this. It takes a lot of time. A lot of time and patience.
Yes. Because whiskey, you just can't put it in the bottle like you can vodka. It needs to age in these 40-gallon white oak barrels, and in order to mellow it out, to bring the spicy and the fruity notes of the rye and the nuttiness of the barley and the hardiness of the corn. So all those three grains need to age, and every barrel ages it differently. And that's the thing. So how did it feel for you that moment when you said, okay, this is good for release now, I can now let other people try this? That moment must have been, you must have just checked yourself a couple of times. Yes, I did. I thought my whiskey was ready in 2002, and I heard, and I liked it, and my friends liked it. Which is good. But I really needed an outside evaluation of it. So I heard about this World Whiskey Tasting Competition in Europe. So I sent off 3 bottles, and lo and behold, it came back with a gold medal. There you go. So I knew it was ready. That's actually, that was actually really smart to do, right? Because again, within your own circle is one thing, but to get some accolades elsewhere. So tell me a little bit about this and what this is where it all came from. So what do we smell and what do we taste with this? It's just like tasting wine. You use you want to get the aromas, the different aromas that come up. On barrels, 40 Creek Barrel Select, you'll get some nice toffee, a little bit of black walnut. Every good whiskey should have a nut note to it. Okay, all right, good to know. Now, how do you feel about people, some people who will drop a drop of water in, and how do you feel about that as a whiskey maker? Well, the alcohol will naturally hold the aromas, so by adding a drop of water or a small cube of ice, it helps release the aromas. It's kind of a neat technique, isn't it? That it works for people. Okay, all right, so I'll take a little sip of this. You'll find it's very smooth. I was going to say it's smooth, and that's the difference with versus a lot of other whiskeys. So this is a little bit more approachable for some people who aren't sure if they like it or not, right? Yes. Very good. Well, I don't like whiskeys that bite you back. No. I don't like that harshness and that burn that goes down the throat. And I think a whiskey should be very enjoyable to drink. So you need that smoothness in the flavor. Okay, so let's move on into, and so now we've moved on to this one. What is this one? This one is called 40 Creek Copper Pot. Okay. And it's similar to Barrel Select, but much more amped up. It's slightly higher in alcohol because of the flavors are so much bolder. I sort of think of it as Barrel Select on steroids. Okay. So are you going to get a little bit of that bite more in this one then? No, it'll still be smooth. You're still not going to get the bite. You're still going to get the smooth. But what you're going to smell is the spiciness. Yes, I actually smell that right away. Yeah, you'll get butterscotch. You'll get cinnamon. And those aren't flavors that are added to whiskey. Those are the flavors that come from the 3 different grains. A lot of people think that you actually add them to it, don't they? I've heard so many people say that. It's just something that you achieve while you're in the making of the process of it. That's right. Those flavors come out naturally in the various grains. So now, right mid-palate, you'll be getting these, what I call spice flares, hitting the roof of your mouth. Yes, you do. That's coming from the spiciness of the rye. Wow. But then again, on the back end, on the finish, it's still smooth. It smooths out. And it invites you back to take another sip. Just exactly what you had planned, right? It works out perfectly. Okay, so when we look at these 2 bottles here, now what are the differences as we look at these 2? This one's a 40 Creek Double Barrel. And what I've done is I've aged it exactly the same way as I aged these whiskeys. But after they're ready, I bring the 3 different whiskeys together and I rebarrel it into
first one bourbon barrel.
Oh, right, okay.
And just to give it more age, so it goes back into a bourbon barrel for another 3 years. And the flavors that you will get, you will smell some of the typical flavors of bourbon, which are like banana. You'll get banana, toasted coconut.
I smell the banana right off the top. That's the first thing I smell.
That's typical of bourbon.
Okay.
But because it has the other whiskeys in it as well, it's not going to taste exactly like a bourbon, but you'll get.
That's so smooth.
You get some nice toasty, smoky flavors from that.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to this one so we don't run out of time.
Now this one is called Confederation Oak. It's the only whiskey in the world that is aged in Canadian white oak barrels. Most whiskeys all around the world are aged in American white oak. And so I searched and searched and searched to find Canadian white oak, which is very rare. It only grows usually in a small band between Sarnia and Brantford.
Wow, really?
And, yes, and I found it, oh, it's probably at least 8, 9 years ago, this managed forest area, and they were cutting down 3 Canadian white oak trees. And the reason why they were cutting them down was because the canopy from the 3 trees was blocking the sunlight and the rainfall to the younger ones.
Well, that worked in your favor, didn't it?
So I convinced them to sell those trees to me.
Beautiful.
And then I made them into barrels. They had to naturally air dry for 2.5 years. Those trees, first rooted in Canada in 1867. They were 150 years old.
That's amazing.
And so that's why it's called Confederation
That's why it's
Oak.
called Confederation. Okay.
Very smooth, vanilla, maple, fig aromas.
Beautiful. That's so nice.
You.
Okay, so we have like literally seconds left, but I want to talk about this because I'm a huge supporter and love of this cream that you've decided to make because we didn't have it here in Canada, and it's not sweet. It just has a good flavor, and it really it's been beaten out all its counterparts overseas in Ireland, hasn't it?
This is something that I wanted to, I don't know why, no one has ever made a Canadian cream.
No, but you did.
But this is it.
Cheers to you.
Cheers,
Thank you
Leslie.
so much for letting us into your space, and we wish you the best. You've won so many awards. Continue to do so and make us proud Canadians, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, cheers. We'll be back with more TERRA at Home.
TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We are here with Chef Iain in our TERRA kitchen, and you have done a whole lot of prep work, young man, for something really yummy. It's better be good.
An awful lot amount of prep work. It's not like me to have such a long ingredient list, but I'm making one of my favorites. It's a crab and shrimp cake. Wonderful. My days at the Four Seasons is what I used to make all the time. So really happy to share it with you. Really straightforward. It's just an awful lot of mixing into the bowl. The only thing that I'd keep in mind when we come to our pan fry is a nice hot pan. I'm going to be using a canola oil as opposed to an olive oil, just a higher smoke point. But other than that, it's just an awful lot of mixing. We're going to add a cup of mayonnaise.
So, as my questions always come.
No, I am not going to use light mayonnaise.
Why?
Because there's something called flavor I like. Okay?
All right.
A cup of mayonnaise. I'm going to start with my crab meat. Now, I found this at my local supermarket. It's the next best thing as opposed to real crab. Crab in the shell, sorry. You find it in a little foil bag. You get what you pay for. So it's a premium product.
Okay.
But it's a nice dry tender flake.
But this saves a whole lot of steps.
A whole lot of
prep. If you
prep,
were actually
a whole
shelling
lot
this
of
yourself,
steps.
then that would be at least,
Yeah.
you know, this is.
I've taken a few shrimp. I've just cut it nice and coarse and chunky. I'm going to add that to our mix.
And again, uncooked shrimp, right?
Uncooked shrimp. Thank you very much. A nice fine dice of some celery. I'm going to add to it.
Yeah, those are finely chopped. So again, this is where the process of the prep work is a little bit tedious. So, you know, you could always have someone like you do it for us.
It's a labor of love. It's a labor of love.
Those are nicely diced, actually. I really like the
Well,
way you
thank you. Well, chef school does me well.
I know.
To which I'm going to add a little fresh scallion. I'm also going to add some garlic.
Garlic, okay.
Okay. A squeeze of lime juice.
This is where if you aren't able to write this down this quickly at home, don't worry, it's on our website.
Really good point.
TerraGreenhouses.com. We'll remind you again before the show is over because right now people are like, what?
A good fresh squeeze of lime juice, and I'm going to add some panko. That's a Japanese breadcrumb. And again, I'm going to hold some back because again, I just got to figure out just how much I need to add. And it is a texture thing. I want to be able to create a nice patty with it. And I think right from the get-go, I'm going to need to add some more breadcrumb. So again, it's a consistency that I'm looking for. Sometimes that I find when I am making the patties, I find sometimes it's an idea if my patties are still a little bit of loose and I've added enough panko, because I really don't want to overtake the I don't want to overtake the flavors with nothing but, you know, breadcrumb, like eating nothing but breadcrumb.
Right, I get that.
What I do is I make my loose patties and I stick them in the fridge for about a half hour, 45 minutes until they're nice chilled and hard, and it's much easier to work with.
Oh, okay. All right, that's a good idea then. So do you find, could you use regular breadcrumbs? Like some people do for crab cakes, they will, right?
Of course you can. You can use breadcrumb. I've also seen potato. You can use potatoes.
Grated potato, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And essentially.
But again, you're saying this panko is because it kind of has a bit more of a texture to it, gives a little bit more of a crisp?
Yep, that's correct.
All right.
So as it turns out, I'm going to use all my panko.
Very good.
You'll also notice that I've left a little mayonnaise behind as well.
Yes,
so
you have.
if there's time before the break and I'm going as fast as I possibly can, I'm going to make a lovely lemon dill caper aioli, which is just a really fancy way of saying a lemon caper dill mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, right?
Exactly.
Which is good because again, with I find that it's one of those things. You know, it's almost like with having tartar sauce for fish, right?
Yep.
It has that that kind of breaks things up a little bit and gives an extra flavor.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Good.
It's like
All right. So we're gonna fry these guys up. Right?
ketchup for the fries. Exactly.
Okay. So as you said, canola oil. So you're going to get that pan up to pretty high
I'm going
heat.
to get it to quite a high heat. And essentially, I'm going to start forming my patties.
Okay.
So I'll do one or two, just for the two of us anyway.
Now the crab was cooked, right?
Yep.
But the shrimp wasn't.
Wasn't.
So these really are going to cook up quite quickly.
Quite quickly. Yeah. So ultimately,
I like how you're making them just kind of a nice little size.
well, again, you you can make them slightly larger if you're going to do maybe a bistro-style dinner tonight, like a nice little salad, a glass of white wine to go with the crab cake, and you can make them a little bit bigger. Or, you know, if you're having a few friends over, you can make them appetizer style as well. I just like the
having
look
the
of
shrimp in there though. That's actually going to be, that gives it a little
It's
bit
nice.
more something to it.
It's nice, and I like the crunchy celery that goes with it. It adds. It's all about texture. So anyway, I'm going to start the process.
Okay.
And you get that wonderful sound right away. And hopefully there's going to be time before break that we're going to be able to turn them over and we're going to see what they look like on the other side and how they're progressing.
Okay.
Forgive me, wiping my hands as quickly as I can.
All right, so we have a big bowl of full-fat mayo here.
Full-fat mayo. Don't give me the light stuff. Ultimately, I'm going to take some lemon first and foremost. And thank you so much. I'm going to do a little grate of the zest. And again, when you're grating with the zest, do it fairly lightly. I don't want to get any of the white pith underneath. That tends to be bitter.
Oh, right.
So it's just a nice light tap with your zester. And again, a little squeeze of lemon juice. There we go. Perfect.
Good.
Utilize some of my empty bowls. I'm going to add some of my dill, which is chopped, and some of my capers. Capers are a little bud that's been pickled.
Right.
So you'll often find that in your tartar sauces and served alongside fishes. Exactly. So I think we're coming quite close.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait just a few more minutes if that's okay. Just use my knife, because chefs, we use everything that we have at the time when we can't find our tongs. So we've got some really nice color starting to form on our crab cakes.
Okay.
We want to take about 4 minutes each side. And again, a wee dust of salt anyways before we go to plate.
Okay. All
So
right. So
just
what we'll do is we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll have these all cooked up for you. We'll show you the final product.
Terra, where color lives.
Welcome back to Terra at Home, and we have two beautiful crab cakes, and I'm observing, and I'm going to tell on you right now. We were making 3 crab cakes when you were watching earlier, and the magic of television and commercial break, Iain ate one.
Atmospheric phenomenon, really. And it's a small plate.
Good.
So
I'm glad you like it. It's a good thing when he eats them.
But the chef,
Right?
it's a testimonial to my
It
taste.
is. It is. So those look really good. So you did the perfect little.
Little golden brown, absolutely.
Yes.
Did a little pat dry on some towel, little placement. We're just going to put together a little salad. I've got some olive oil to start with, a little more, and I've got some wonderful mango puree.
Look at the color of that.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I thought the mango and the shrimp and the crab all work well together. A little lemon just to give it some, and a little rice wine bin. Here we go.
Okay, as you're mixing that up, again, a reminder, you can find all of our recipes on terragreenhouses.com. So you can try this at home yourself.
Fantastic.
I liked you had some herbs to your greens.
Yeah, I added a little dill, a little tarragon, which is very nice, some parsley, of course. I just want to coat the leaves, and I can put that on the side of my plate.
Look at that. Very pretty.
A little stacky stack. Fantastic. Wipe my hands.
And then?
You've got your lemon caper and dill aioli, mayonnaise.
Mayo with herbs and things.
Exactly.
Lemon.
And we can just put that up front.
Isn't that lovely?
There you go.
Beautiful. Wonderful job. And again, this was an old staple for you, and definitely one that you go to on a regular
Most
basis.
definitely
right?
do.
So good.
And the ingredients are found on our recipe page.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Chef Iain. Good stuff. This is a good thing to be trying. And again, it's only Saturday morning, so you could whip this up tonight for dinner. That's it for now. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you next week.